In this episode of Play PS5, the podcast, Adam and Alex discuss the most recent state of play along with all the games that were shown. The boys talk about the most recent PS5 news, and each one of them takes a fist full of beans. All of this and more on episode 28 of Play PS5, the podcast.
All right, welcome to episode 28 of Play PS5, the podcast. We're going to talk about the state of play. That's right. There was a state of play this week. We got to discuss it. But before I can't discuss it by myself, I got to bring my co-host in here, Adam, the genuine fisher of men over there. Adam, what's the biggest one you caught?
Let me tell you what, I caught a freshwater drum, and actually, maybe we could put it in the YouTube video, but you can see it's a pretty big fish. I also saw a gar in the water. I didn't catch it. Have you ever seen a gar, Alex?
No, I haven't seen a gar, Adam.
A gar is a fish that you would see in Final Fantasy, the VR fisherman game.
Yeah.
It's an insane fish. It's huge.
A monster of the deep?
Yes. It was a monster of the deep.
How many inches we talking, Adam?
What?
How many inches we talking?
It was 4 feet. It was half the size of my kayak. I'm not even exaggerating.
All right.
It was huge. I thought it was a crocodile.
Adam, as a fisher of men, are you interested in more of the tuna or the tuna can?
Okay, so gamer juice here. The gamer juice I have is called Frosty Blue Cream Soda. And so I've already taken a little sip here. It's very interesting. It almost tastes like vanilla. And when I see something blue, I think berry. I think blue raspberry. I think not blue cream. It's interesting. It's not bad. I don't know if I would get it again, but it's not bad. I just think there's other options that are better. Good sugary drink. It's going to push me through to this. Instead of a one kegger, we're going to have a one segger here. So it doesn't have any caffeine, but I'm pretty amped up anyhow. It has exactly 178 calories, which is very odd to put that on a bottle. But I'm ready to go. Do you need something to energize you to finish this podcast?
Yeah, Adam, well, I had to really get a lot of beverages ready because of what we're going to be doing today. But I've loaded up on a lot of the Bubbly Bounce caffeinated sparkling water. Blood orange grapefruit. I think I dove in on this before, but to keep my energy levels at a nice baseline, I kicked off just before starting the podcast with a Chewy Bar Fiber One protein. We're talking about 5 net carbs, 6 grams of protein, and 2 grams of sugar. I don't know why they bury the lead here because this bad boy has 8 grams of fiber. So your boy's coming out regular on the podcast. And I'm gonna be ready to handle this, man. I'm gonna be ready to do everything I need to do to survive this episode because, Adam, we have a special game, don't we? To celebrate the state of play, we got a special game to carry us through this podcast.
We do. So the last podcast we got carried away with the beans, and we're coming back with the beans, baby. I don't know how good of audio necessarily it makes, but we are going to be more direct in that we are going to be talking about the games and the state of play. We are then going to have a game where we pick the over-under of the amount of views it has on YouTube. The loser will obviously eat a bean. And unlike last episode where you're going to hear us writhing and screaming and barfing, we're going to try to push through and not make it necessarily like that because I'm sure it's horrible audio. I am going to enjoy it when Alex eats a barf. Don't get me wrong. I will enjoy it, but I just won't prolong his misery before we have to move on. So first, let's talk about what we've been playing before we get into the state of play. Because, Alex, I want to talk to you, and I'm not going to get on this. We've already had a whole podcast about Nier. I went back to Nier Automata because I'm sitting here and waiting for some more PS5 games. I wanted to play something, and let me tell you what. I hope to God at some point I'm either rich or I hit the lottery, because the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take every amount of that money, and any person who doesn't have Nier Automata, I'm going to buy him a copy. I'm just going to give him the effing game. It is so brilliant, and it is even more meaningful and brilliant. It's even more of a masterpiece the second playthrough, because now you already kind of know the interactions and what happens to the characters and what certain quests do what. And you can really see things in the second playthrough you couldn't in your first. Just how things piece together and how perfectly well thought out and in synchrony everything that the characters say, every little plot point that in the first playthrough you just assume, okay, that's the way it is, or okay, that's a weird comment for them to make, or you hear that. But oh my, it's so good. It is so, that opening sequence gives me chills, like where they play the movie. It is, I don't know, I'm flabbergasted. I don't want to ramble too much, Alex. It's just, it's so good.
I agree. It's so good, Adam. I do wonder. It's your second time playing through now. Do you wait until later to do the self destruct so you can look at 2B's butt the whole time, or do you just right out of the gates? First time you have it, you do that self destruct chip, and so it blows up her skirt and you can see her butt.
So here's the thing that's interesting. I didn't do that the first playthrough because I didn't know you could. And again, part of the second playthrough is now you now have a bigger knowledge base. And so I'm finding new ways to get different endings because now I'm not afraid to die. I don't have really necessarily as much on the line. The first time I played, I didn't know is dying a big deal because there's the whole thing about you die and then you have to go find yourself again, or you lose all of your equipment and your plug-in chips. So I was afraid to die. Now I self-destruct all the time. And so I realized, yeah, you can see her butt. And I
Does
did
it make
that
it better or worse? Like, are you more distracted, or are you just like this? Now I love her.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I love her. I don't know.
Do you sometimes tell like your family and friends to call you Nines?
That's funny. Oh yeah, that should be my gamer tag. I should change it.
Change your gamer tag to Nines.
That
Yeah,
would be good.
at work I tell them, people that really like me call me Nines. Nobody does it, so I guess nobody really likes me. But
The one thing I have to say is that if you have not played this game and you are listening, I don't know how much more I have to beg. Like I've played good games that I've said are average. This is, I just think, unequivocally the best single game I've ever played, and I don't know how it could get better. Like I can't think of a game that would make me be like, okay, that's better than Nier Automata. I can't think of it. I just don't know. It has it all. So am I gonna have to buy these people this game, Alex? I don't understand.
who is that guy that always hit us up on Twitter when we were like giving away free games? And I probably bought him half of his PSVR library from PlayPS. What was his name? Bastion? That was his name. Yeah. Anytime I was like, I love this game so much, I'm gonna buy it for somebody. Bam! Before the podcast episode's even published, he'd be like, "Hey, I'll take it." Damn it, Bastion! You got it again.
Yeah.
Got about 7 copies of Transpose. About 3 copies of Monkey King. Know those bad boys are getting sold on the internet somewhere. I tried to be friendly and charitable. Adam, the game I played is a game I've been playing because I'm not good at games, and especially this game, it takes me forever to get through it. I've been playing Returnal. Now, the reason I want to talk about Returnal, Adam, and I kind of mentioned this a bit prior, E3 came and went, and really, like, there wasn't too many huge things. There was Elden Ring, but Nintendo had their showcase, and everybody was expecting something huge. Really, the biggest thing that came out was they're announcing a new Metroid game. And yeah, we all love Metroid, but I hate that everybody has avoided really describing and talking about the fact that there is a new Metroid in town, and it is Returnal. And Returnal is Metroid for adults, and Returnal is Metroid for the next generation. I can't get excited about a new Metroid game on the Nintendo Switch when I have maybe one of the best Metroid games ever in Returnal. That's what I've been playing. That game's hard. That game is a grind at times, and I love every second of it because the gameplay, moment-to-moment gameplay is just so satisfying. Even if I'm replaying old levels, I love it so much, Adam. And I think this is easily going to be my game of the year this year, unless something really crazy happens in like the next 7 months, 6 months, something like that. And I know you bounced off it, but I think people who made it through are going to agree with me that it's better than Nier Automata. Moving on, Adam.
What? F you. You don't even, there's no way you believe that. And if you do,
I haven't finished it yet, but it's the story is getting better and better as I play, and I'm more and more excited about what the game has for me.
I agree that Returnal wasn't my thing, but I still hold it in high esteem, and I see why you enjoy it. I cheated. I watched the plot, and I dove into the plot points. I've obviously played Automata. There is no way on God's green earth that even compares to Nier. The level of, I'm not getting into this.
Well, okay, let's take it to the gutter just for a quick second. Better butt. What's her name? Serene, something like that.
You don't even know her name.
You don't need to.
Spacesuit.
The girl from Returnal or 2B. A lot of butt shots in both games.
Well, I didn't see a butt shot in Returnal. All I saw was an astronaut suit. Definitely
you start the game every single time you start. It's like a close up of her butt as she's getting up off the ground.
Oh my dude, not even close. I really hope.
Grow up.
After this podcast, I hope you were like, I just wanted to get your goat, and I just wanted to have a discussion. If you really think that in any way Returnal is better than Nier, other than the utilization of the DualSense, like as a game, I'm gonna be so sorely disappointed in you.
We'll see. I gotta finish it and see how I feel with the story. But right now, it's heading in a direction I'm loving, and yeah. But let me evaluate it on my own terms, Adam. You can't rule my life.
Every single thing in Nier means something. There isn't a single just that was in there. And it's actually enjoyable to play. You don't have to frigging grind. We have the state of play. We need to talk about these games because there's so many of them. This is going to be a time-consuming adventure. So, as I mentioned before, we're going to run through the games, give our opinion, do an over-under on the amount of views on YouTube. Someone will eat a bean, and then we're going to move forward. So, to begin, we want to just look at the overall state of play. How many views the state of play video had on YouTube. That's going to help give us some idea of how many views we're talking, and then it's kind of interesting to begin with. So as you looked at here, I'll pick the number and then I'll let you look it up and we'll discuss kind of what we watched of it and our broad scope, what we thought about it. I'm going to say, dude, I'm going to be honest, I have no clue. I have no friggin' idea. I'm going to say,
I'm writing it down.
Yeah,
this is great audio, everybody. Adam's drawing pictures over there at 2B's butt crack. Here's 16,435,000. 60.
Is that too much?
I'm taking the under on that bad boy.
Dang it! Is that too low?
Here's what I did.
Too high?
After the state of play, Sony did on their blog post. They had the state of play recap, so you kind of get everything they covered there. At the top of that page, they have the state of play recap shortcut video to kind of do the quick hits. This is what we're using as our barometer to kind of calibrate to what range we're looking at here. So that
the
video
recap. I thought you were talking about the actual.
No, not the
video.
actual one. This is at the top of the blog post. It's a quick state of play recap.
I'm gonna take this. I thought we were talking about the actual video.
No. This is from their blog post right at the top. What are you thinking?
Then I'm taking this back. I'm dropping this. I'm dropping it now.
No, I'm going to take the under. I might have taken the under because I thought it was going to be 14 million.
1.2 million.
1.2 million. I got it typed in right here on YouTube. I'm gonna hit the button right now. See what we come up with. Oh wait, no. I'm. You said 1.2 million. Sorry, I haven't looked yet. I'm gonna say, man, it's playing music on me now. Adam, you said 1.2 million. That's a very good line. I'm gonna take the under because it's not a juicy video, and we are looking at. Oh, Adam, I'm so sorry. It is 51,000.
Dang it!
365
recap videos. I bet the actual video had 17 million.
Yeah, I mean the state of play itself might have had a lot. But we're not looking at the state of play.
I know, it's so stupid. Okay, give me my
bean. Let me spin it for you, Adam. And I just want to say, okay, Adam, you got Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti, so go ahead and fish one of those bad boys out.
So, in general, tell me what you thought about the state of play, broadly and quickly.
Yeah, so, I mean, state of play is Sony's kind of like, they're doing this instead of E3. And in terms of that, there's not really many heavy hitters, so that's kind of disappointing. I mean, of course, they're probably saving stuff for later. We're not getting much in terms of, how's that, what is it?
It's Stinky
It's
Socks.
Stinky Socks. Yeah, it's stinky. It's always Stinky Socks.
Yeah.
There wasn't many heavy hitters. I mean, they told us we're not going to talk about Horizon Forbidden West. We're not going to talk about God of War. We're not going to talk about PlayStation VR 2. But that lets me know that those things are being worked on. We'll see those later. But in terms of like something around the E3 time, some new juicy tidbits, this doesn't have very much of that. There's a couple nice morsels in there, but this didn't have too much for it. So I couldn't get too hyped for it. I'd give it, a very average 2.5 out of 5 rating. Adam, what'd you give it on Twitter, saying it was
I gave it
boring
a
and
3
dumb?
out of 10.
A 3 out of 10. Wow, you really hated that bad boy.
Well,
I
I
get
didn't
it.
hate it. It was just like you said, there was nothing exciting. I looked at all these games, none of them were coming out soon, and a lot of them I looked and I was like, either they were clones of other popular games, which I hold originality
Hmm.
highly in my when I look at a game and whether I want to play it. And so the fact that a lot of these are rip-off games, I'm not impressed with. And the ones that are unique IPs and things they were weird, which could be a good thing, but there just wasn't enough information in them to know whether I'm excited. I was just, like the one. Well, we'll get to. I don't
Yeah,
want
I
a
think what
lot
you're.
of the games I watched, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I think the thing is that the hype that you're left with after the state of play does not meet the hype that's built up about you knowing there's a state of play coming and they're going to talk about things and you get excited about it and then you're left with just like, well, that's kind of what I got excited about. And they kind of warned us, but it still just wasn't an E3 replacement worthy session, I guess is what I would say. So yeah, I understand why you're disappointed. I think what they actually announced, I maybe am excited about more than you, but we can now move on to the next game. First game on this list, Adam, and this is one that you didn't care about at all. I was very happy to see is Moss Book 2, the sequel to the wonderful Moss on PSVR, which you hated and I thought was like a masterpiece.
Okay, you think of what's your number?
Oh, no one that got 51,000, but nobody's going to watch it. I'm going to guess this is a 250,000 view video.
I'm taking the under.
Taking the under.
And as you look that up, I'm going to discuss what my thoughts are, and then we'll hop and change. So, the reason I wasn't very excited for this is one, I didn't enjoy Moss in the first place that much. I thought, I mean, sure, it's a little cute game, but I thought it was really basic. And other than the fact that it had virtual reality and a cute little mascot, I think that's really all it has going with it or for it. And I didn't really enjoy the first game. I probably not even going to play this one. I don't know. Maybe somehow you'll convince me to play it. I don't care about the story. I don't care about the mouse. I actually enjoyed drowning Quill because F it, it's a freaking rat. It should drown.
That rat is Quill.
That rat is Quill. And specifically for book 2 here, so they didn't talk too much. The trailer wasn't that captivating. The graphics in the trailer were, I don't know if I'm getting used to PS5 graphics or what, but the graphics in that trailer looked horrible. Like maybe even like PS3 type stuff. Like I was real confused. I had no idea what was going on. I haven't played VR in a little while. Maybe the PS5 is starting to rub off and I'm becoming like a resolution snob or something. But and it's understandable they don't have much to show us yet, but lack of gameplay, the fact that I didn't like the first one, resolution was bad. We don't have PSVR 2 yet. I'm off the Moss train. I don't care.
Yeah, my quick thoughts about the Moss thing, the graphics, I don't really care about. I understand where you're coming from, but it is a PSVR game, so it's going to be less beautiful than a PS4 game. Looking through the trailer, what I'm seeing is a lot of the same enemies as last time. The environments are new. The puzzles are probably very similar. It looks like you get some new perspectives, which is nice, but that might just be clever trailer tricks. But the enemies don't. Oh, he gets like a sledgehammer. That's kind of cool. But the enemies, not too many new looking enemies. They look kind of very similar. But here's the deal with Moss 2. The thing that has me worried is Moss was great on PSVR. It was a great PSVR exclusive. And then they took it to the Oculus Quest. And I'm wondering if the reason the graphics look a bit neutered is because they're getting ready to cater this to the Oculus Quest as well. So they didn't want to tax the PlayStation 4 hardware too much, because that's better than the Oculus Quest in terms of graphics. And I think they're trying to tone things down a bit so that it looks on par with this other VR headset that's probably going to sell a lot more units. That being said, I loved Moss Book 1. I'm super excited about Moss Book 2. Maybe has taken too long to come out. I hope that's compensated for with greater length. But Adam, you picked I picked 250,000. Did you take the over or the under?
I took the under.
Yeah, you were wise because it's only 39,000. I'm a freaking idiot. How about you spin that bean for me, man?
Yeah, what a fool.
Flick the bean, Adam.
Yeah, oof. Buttered popcorn or rotten egg?
Oh, okay. Do I have
Let me tell you, a rotten egg will ruin your day too. Like barf's bad.
Yeah, let me take my gun
easily
out.
the worst, but rotten egg can be bad.
Yeah. Here we go. You got the butter popcorn right there.
Yep, you got. I trust you. We're going on the honor system here.
That is a rotten egg.
That is a rotten egg. Okay, our next game as he struggles, is Arcadegeddon. So this game for me is, I'm so sick of games that look like Fortnite. I don't want to play Fortnite. I've never wanted to play Fortnite. I don't want to play a Fortnite clone. This is what this looks like. At first I was excited. I was like, oh, is this going to be like a 80s arcade something? But no, you're somehow saving an arcade. They tell you want to earn street cred. It does look like relatively fast-paced gameplay, but it looks like Fortnite to me. You can do solo or 4-player co-op. There's a player versus player challenge modes. The trailer is kind of confusing to me. It launches in 2020 and early access, I think, is available now even. But I don't care about these characters. Surely there's not going to be any real plot to it. They try to make these people look like modern and new, not like in the good way, not like futuristic, but like
edgy. They try to make them look edgy.
Yeah, I hate that. I don't want, and I mean, I know I'm not like, quote unquote young, like in my teens playing video games, but I'm still young. I'm 30. So I'm like their perfect demographic. I'm not old. And I think it looks stupid and I don't care about it. I wish they'd quit doing that. They did it with this. They did it with Destruction All-Stars. There's a handful of other games that try to make these characters look edgy. No one's buying it. Quit trying to make Fortnite and quit having edgy characters. I'm done with it. I don't want it. I think the game sucks. And I'm going to say it only got 70,000 views.
All right. Yeah, I kind of agree with a lot of things you say there. It looks like Fortnite, and it looks like it plays like Fortnite, at least engine-wise. The gameplay is a bit different. They call it a looter shooter. So third-person shooting, action, fighting game. You got enemies, but I'm sure there's deathmatch and stuff in there too. Don't know if Battle Royale is a thing in there or not. But I agree with you. I'm kind of worn out on these like pseudo-edgy characters. It looks like Splatoons, if you ever played that. It looks like they thought like, oh, that's fun, but let's make it for grown-ups, but it still looks like a game for kids. I mean, maybe it'd probably be like fun to play, but when you have a game like Apex Legends and stuff out there that's free, it's like, what market do you think you're tapping into that you're suddenly going to make a ton of money off of? I hate to be super pessimistic about it, but I can see this game, like you said, going the way of Destruction All-Stars. We're like, what is motivating me to play this? As opposed
it's going to be free. That's what.
But there's so many other free games out there, right? Like I could, if I wanted to play a game that felt like Fortnite, I could play Fortnite, which has $1 billion budget behind it and super fun events and stuff like that. It kind of baffles me as to why these kind of games get made. And so that's disappointing. You set what was your number again?
70,000.
70,000. I'm going to go with the under on that, Adam. I think we need to learn a lesson here very quickly. Typing in the link right now, we have 52,664 views for Arcadegeddon.
Okay, give me my bean.
I think we're learning quickly what the deal is. We got Peach or Barf, baby. Peach
Are you kidding me?
Barf. Yes.
No.
Yes, the first barf of the evening.
It's too early for this.
No, man, I want to see you vomit on air.
Will you let me eat it at the end?
No, you have to eat it now. That's the rules of the game, Adam. That's the rules
hate you.
of the game.
I hate you. This is...
Adam, while you struggle with that barf beam,
It's peach.
don't tell me that. No, keep chewing, bad boy. You know that stuff. You know it comes back
Peach.
around.
Dude, it's so obviously
Goodness.
yes.
Why have the bean gods blessed you with such luck? That's the thing. The peach doesn't, like, if I had a bag full of peach jelly beans, I would not care. But when you get that peach and you're expecting a barf and it comes back peach, it's like the sweetest nectar you've ever had.
It is. Dang, that is a good jelly bean.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's great when you got something terrible on the other end. Adam, next game is Tribes of Midgard, Season 1, The Wolf Saga by Norsefell Games. It's an action RPG launching here in like a week or so, a couple weeks, July 27th.
Yep.
And it looks, I watched the trailer. It looks like an action RPG like Diablo or I don't know if you played Diablo, you've played like Preda Vendetta, Rising, those kind of games. You get a class, you go around and hack and slash and get loot and then work through that. It looks inoffensive. I don't see anything in the gameplay footage that gets me excited to be like, yes, finally on my PlayStation 5, I have a PlayStation 3 game, PlayStation 4 game that plays like a PlayStation 2 game. It might be fun, but I just don't know I don't know who was like, you know what, we need to make a game that's just like Diablo, except it's not Diablo. Oh, there's a rune system, but like that. Okay, you got spells. Like I don't understand this, Adam, and I don't know what my deal is. Why I'm so pessimistic. Do you have room in your heart, in your library, for a game like this?
I feel like this one was fairly uninspired as well. So the notes that I wrote down that made it maybe somewhat unique is that they call it a 10-player action survival RPG. There's the saga mode, there's endless mode, nothing special there. You just fortify your village. There's everyone says they've got large enemies. Again, not impressive. The environments change and there are new classes. Again, not that impressive. Also, another thing I'm so freaking sick of is loot. I don't care about loot. What is loot? And I don't want to loot. If there is like a huge political firestorm and I get to loot like a Dick's Sporting Goods, yeah, I'll loot. I don't care about loot in a freaking video game. I don't care about new bosses. 8 different classes, great. You can have 4 classes for all I care. Still ain't buying the game. Still not playing the game. It's not original. It doesn't even look that fun. And I don't know, unless it has some type of PS5 integration with the DualSense or something special with PS5. I'm not playing this. That's how it is. Like the game, you're right. Why are we making these games? Why are the studios like? I learned with PSVR, and I remember you played a lot of these games too, where there were a small studio and they just pumped out a game, I guess, to maybe just pump out a game, but it wasn't good. It wasn't inspired. It wasn't well done. You just played it and you're like, why?
But
that's
in VR,
what some of these games are.
In VR, it was in VR, right? Like, who cares if you're copying a prior game's design? You put it in VR and there's breaking new ground there. And that's exciting because it's like, hey, maybe this game type would be really fun to play in VR. But when it's just like the same thing we've seen with 100 other games just like it, and the thing that you're excited about is loot. Like I'm like you. I can appreciate a game that has loot, but it's got to have awesome gameplay underneath, and then I can get excited about loot. But I hate having an inventory full of items that I want to trash, but there's no efficient way to trash it.
Does this thing look like League of Legends? Is that the game that this looks like?
It might look like League of Legends, but it's not going to play like League of Legends.
Okay. I probably don't know what that is. Okay, what's your number so I can pick over or under?
Yeah, we've been overshooting a lot. I'm going to guess 23,000 on this one, Adam.
I'm taking over.
Taking the over. All right, let me hit enter, type in the thing here. And I am bad at this. It is 38,000, Adam. 38,000 views for the Tribes of Midgard Season 1.
We're finding that whoever picks the line is always wrong.
Yeah. Adam, so this is Tribes of Midgard Season 1, The Wolf Saga. Do you think there's going to be a Season 2?
I think there will be. Maybe younger people like this crap. I don't know. The fact that they're even saying there's Season 1. I mean, look, I bet freaking Destruction All-Stars is going to have a second season or whatever. Godfall had a second season and their game's horrible. So, like, yeah, it's probably already in the mix.
Yeah.
You got strawberry, banana smoothie, or dead fish.
Ooh, okay. Do I have any of these? Yeah, I do. It's right there staring me right in the face. What if I accidentally grabbed a barf and just ate that instead? No, this is a
Ooh.
strawberry banana smoothie or dead fish. Adam, this is a game. It's all Nordic and stuff, but all the character classes just seem like normal character classes. I don't get it. Let me eat my dead fish in peace.
Uh, hey, is Fist the
Strawberry
game
banana
about?
smoothie, baby.
Oh, good. Okay, I don't like that one. I'm happy for you. Is
Thank you.
Fist the one about the rabbit?
No, this is the one that developer reached out to me and said, I want to make a game about you and Adam's auntie.
Ah, boom roasted.
Yes, it's that rabbit game where the rabbit's in like a robot suit.
Okay, cool.
This is so yeah, Fist. This is one that I've heard a lot of buzz about because I just think people think it's silly that there's a rabbit in a robot suit, and usually if that's like your selling point, it's like, oh, isn't it funny? He's like a violent rabbit. That doesn't get me too excited. But then I kind of watched some footage, and it looks like a fun side-scrolling action platformer with like beat 'em up stuff to it, like a almost like Castlevania or something like that, like some melee combat action side-scrolling. You are a rabbit, Robo Rabbit named Rayton, and he has combat abilities, and he's got a giant mechanical arm. Um, Adam, I know you like Metroid, like side-scrolling Metroid and stuff like that. I don't know. Did you eat a bean off script? Oh, you smelled it, Adam.
No. I bit into a fiery five.
Okay,
Oh, I think it was
off
only the
script.
sriracha. It's so hot. Or maybe it's cayenne. Maybe I grabbed the cayenne.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go.
No, it's okay. Watching the trailer, it's furry animals punching and beating each other up, and I will admit it's graphically pretty impressive. Even though it's a side scroller, it looks like it's flexing a lot of fancy tech from the PlayStation 5, even though it's also on the PS4. But this is a game that looks like it could be really fun to play. So I'm excited about it. I know it's got a lot of buzz to it, but Adam, it's going to be you setting the line on this one. What do you think the trailer for Fist, which is an acronym for Forged in Shadow Torch, which sounds incredibly contrived? How many views do you think we're talking on this bad boy?
Forged in what?
Forged in Shadow Torch. Right, that's just such a bad. Just call it Fist. Like we
It's a
don't need
horrible.
we don't need some stupid contrived name for it. Just call it Fist. We get it. It's cool. Whatever. You called the game Fist. Awesome. That would be awesome. With the weird dots and stuff, it bothers me then.
I got two fists and I'm gonna use them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say
2 fists, 1 hole, baby.
It's gonna be. I'm like an auger. I'm a fist auger, a fistule auger. I'm gonna say, ooh,
Yeah, this one got some buzz. This is out of all the games that, aside from the big hitters, this is the one I heard the most about, like outside of looking into the state of play.
yeah, I believe so. I'm gonna say 36,000.
That's a good number, and I'm gonna take. I think it'd be more like 38,000. I'm gonna take the high on that one, and I'm probably gonna eat a bean for it.
While you look that up, so my thoughts on this. This is the first game in the state of play that I looked at and I was like, what the F is this? It was confusing. I don't understand it. It has, I guess, interesting looking gameplay. The thing is, the graphics look incredible.
Yeah.
But why a rabbit? 2D platformers, I'm kind of over. If I'm going to play a 2D platformer, I'm going to play it for nostalgic sake and go back to the Nintendo or something. I don't know. I don't really want to play this. It just looks weird. Why? Like, why? Why? It's unique. I guess I can't say it's unoriginal, but not in the good way. How many views did it get?
I took the over, and I'm glad I did because it got 124,000 views.
What?
Yeah, so apparently that's possible. I wasn't thinking too crazy. Some of these games are getting hit hard. Let me do a spin here for you.
Dang
Adam,
it.
this game comes out September 7th, so it'll be here soon. I'm wondering if we should try to reach out to the designers and see if we get a review copy or something like that. But while you think about that, you should decide if you should eat a buttered popcorn or rotten egg, and decide if you have the cojones to move forward to this list, Adam.
Dang it.
Dang it. Yeah. It's going to be a rotten egg for sure. We got too many good ones here in a row. It's uncharacteristic of the Bean Boozle. Come on. Yep, rotten egg. It tastes so bad. It's so bad. I've still taste the rotten egg that I had earlier. It lingers more than the vomit. The vomit makes my whole body hurt, but the taste of the rotten egg lingers for a while.
How many chews before I can swallow it?
Oh, I don't know, man. The issue is I always go for my first chew with my molars, and they get stuck there, and then I'm boned. Let's say three big mean chews. Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Talk about the next one.
Yeah. The next one is Hunter's Arena Legends. Hunter's Arena Legends. I think this is already out. It's already out on PC. It came out on Steam, and that was kind of disappointing because when it came out on Steam, it came out to like 300 players, and now the arena is dead. But this is a 30-player melee like battle royale game, which is cool. I can get excited about that. Like, I've always wanted to play something that's like Demon Souls with that intricate combat system and the really fun PvP, but play it as like a battle royale game. That would be really fun. This looks kind of like what that's going for, which is exciting. It comes out on PlayStation Plus August 3rd. So we're looking at less than a month, and it's going to be a free game. And so there's a lot of things I like here. I wish I didn't already know that it was kind of an unsuccessful PC launch, but maybe being on PlayStation Plus, it will have some fun elements to it, and it'll be what I'm looking for. And I don't know, man. I don't know how I can be upset that I'm going to be getting it for free. I just hope it's not as janky as Destruction All-Stars. You know, on PC, people had to go out of their way to play it. Here at PlayStation Plus, day one, there's going to be a lot of people just playing it because it's free and they want to play their free game. What are your thoughts on it, Adam? Oh, I guess I should set the line. People talked about it a little bit, but not as much as Fist. But I heard about it a little bit here, and it looks kind of interesting. I'm going to set the line at 42,000.
Oof, that's a good line.
Yeah, it is a good line. I'm a good line maker. Not really.
I think this is going to be the first one you might win.
We need someone to do two beans.
I'm going to go under.
Go under 42,000? Yeah, it feels a bit lofty for my taste, but I will see.
So for this, I think that one, I'm glad it's free because I wouldn't play this game if it weren't free. I'm going to be forced to play it because it is. It's another one of these games. I'm going to be honest. It seems like somewhat of a copy. It doesn't seem like an original game. Looks like it could be fun. I mean, it looks like it's not bad, but there's so many other games like this that at least look like this. I don't know why I should play this one other than the fact that it's free. Okay, so you fight demons and other players. I think this was a game that was kind of cool where you're on your own thing, but then you encounter other players possibly too. It's what it looked like. Like if I'm out trying to get ore and I see you out there, I can maybe battle you or not, or maybe that's just I'm not sure how it is. They don't freaking talk about it. And then there's sword play and martial arts, and they're sitting here with disco balls and rubber duck weapons and customization. Like, I don't know. These people, I don't know. I'll play it because it's free. I'm not that excited about it. What's the number?
I guessed 42,000 for the line, Adam. You took the under. It is 69,000, which means another bean for you, buddy. Another bean for you, Bean Boy.
Stupidest games. That game's going to be freaking garbage.
Tutti Frutti or Stinky Socks, baby.
Tutti Frutti. At least I got an easy one.
We need to land on a dog food here or something.
Tutti Frutti doesn't even taste that good. So even if you get a good one, it's like, oh.
Tutti Frutti kind of tastes like Stinky Socks.
Who cares?
Yeah,
I can't even tell which one it is.
I think this
it's
game,
Tutti Frutti.
Because this is free, it means it's the only game on this list that you're going to play. Yeah. Therefore, it might be fun for us to play together when it comes out. Maybe we can get.
Well, you won't even play me in Tetris, you freaking.
I did play you in Tetris for a little bit. I did not do very well at it.
You played once. That doesn't even count. Okay? Saifu is the next one.
Sifu. Get that out of the way.
Sifu. First, it comes out in early 2022, so it's a ways away. Here's one of these games I'm like, what the F? But it has a twist that I like. So here's two things. One, the whole trailer is you just beating the living crap out of a bunch of dudes. Every now and then, you get the crap beat out of you, and you get a good punch to the face or kick in the crotch. It looks like a lot of martial arts. And it looks like as you take damage, as this person either loses or gets hit, they get older, which is that I like. That is a very interesting gameplay element that I assume will lead you into a game over. So I think this is interesting because a lot of the games nowadays don't have true game overs. Like, okay, you go back to your last checkpoint. But if we're talking like Mega Man back in the day, you lose in Mega Man, you're going back to the beginning of the stage, ho. Or I think even at points you have to do the whole game over. We don't see that very often
We
anymore.
just saw it in Returnal, Adam.
I and that's my my second point is that this looks like a game that reminds me of Returnal. Actually, no, I was talking about Deathloop. I think I'm going to hate Deathloop. Deathloop, I'm avoiding at all costs. This potentially, if it's like Returnal, I could get annoyed. I don't think it's as bad, though. I don't. It's hard to tell because they don't show a whole lot of gameplay. It looks like an average game, but with that, as you die, you get older mechanic, it intrigues me. So I don't know. We'll see. A whole lot of action. 2022. This is a game I feel like you were probably pretty excited for.
When I first saw the trailer, I was kind of excited for it. You know, I was excited, or I always wanted a game that had like the complexity of combat of something like, you know, one of these really good boxing games like Victorious Boxers or Fight Night or something. But if you could apply that to a bunch of enemies and maybe target enemies individually and fight them that way, this looks like an iteration of that. However, all of the moves that I see them pulling off, they seem very contextual, and they don't seem they seem it seems like it's going to be button mashy. I mean, they
Oh
call it a
yeah,
beat 'em
big
up,
time.
which we know those are button mashy, and you hit square a bunch, and then it'll look cool what's happening on screen. The game this reminds me of is a game that people hated, but now they've come back around to love. It's called God Hand. I like that game, but like God Hand, I could see this kind of wearing thin over time. Like if like this is the kind of game, if it got hard, I would not be happy. I would get really frustrated really quickly. And if it was too easy, I would get really bored really quickly. So this game is going to live and die based on the difficulty and the ability to adapt to the combat as you get more enemies. That said, it has potential to be pretty fun. It looks pretty stylish. The early 2022 is kind of, this is weird. On State of Play, they decided to announce that it's been delayed. So they took this big showcase to say, guess what? We're going to disappoint you by saying it's coming out later. That's fine. I mean, take your time to release the game and get it as nice as you can get it. But yeah, I'm kind of exactly where I was. This did not hype me up. I was actually kind of disappointed from footage I saw. This footage brought me back up to where I was when I first heard the game was announced. It's your turn to set the line, Adam.
70,000.
70,000 for Seafood. That's a good line. I'm going to take let's see. That last game we did was Hunter's Arena Legends. Oh, man, this one's got a lot of people talking about. I'm going to take the over. If Hunter's Arena Legend can do 69,000, this can do 90,000 at least. This one got some buzz. We are looking at a trailer with 116,000 views, baby. That's right. Eat a bean,
getting killed,
boy. Eat a bean, getting kilt. Are you Irish over there with your kilt? Oh, you are looking at Juicy Pear or Booger.
Okay, at least I'm getting good pulls on these.
Yeah, decent pull, but you're eating a lot of beans, Adam. You're going to have to run that off later.
That's booger.
The booger one sticks, and it's like a real booger.
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat boogers as a kid, Adam?
I'm sure I had some.
What do you think of them?
I ate this as I bit into a turd once. Because I was curious. I remember I was real little and I was like, wonder what it tastes like. And there's only one way to find out.
This thing just came out of my ass. I better turn around and try to get it back in my body.
Well, I didn't take a second bite. Wait, I don't remember what it tastes like, but I'm assuming it must have been bad.
Was it your turd?
Yeah.
What? Oh, what? How did you get your turd into a situation where you could eat it?
I turded in the toilet, and I turned around and I grabbed it from the toilet.
Adam, oh my goodness, were you like 23?
Jet, the Far Shore. So you play as May. She's a scientist, and you're exploring new planets. The game seems to be all about motion. They're talking about weaving through trees, jumping over obstacles. The grand theme is exploration and discovery. It doesn't, from what I gathered from that, They mentioned that there isn't really any combat in the game, but you have to adapt to avoid conflict. So although there's no combat, you have to be smart in how you interact with the environment and potentially the inhabitants of some of the world that you're investigating. And you obviously inspect and employ tools and just learn and explore in all these different planets. That is coming out in 2021. We don't know exactly when. This to me is so it's so close to a game I'm really interested in, but it doesn't meet it. The graphics don't look that great, and the art style isn't something I want to explore. If it looked like, I don't know, even something, I cannot believe I'm blanking on No Man's Sky or Returnal. Like if it was an exploration game with those type graphics and like the vast world and outer space, and then I would be interested. This looks more, I don't want to say cartoonish, but the art style isn't realistic necessarily, which doesn't make me really want to explore it. And it seems like this is going to be a game that's too slow for me. Although this is a game that I think you would maybe like, Alex, and you'd probably end up crying by the end of it.
Yeah, so Jet the Far Shore. I knew there was a reason. This is one of the games I showed for the PS5 early on, and I remember being excited about it, like convincing myself to look forward to it. And it was because I researched it again. It's put out by the Super Brothers, who made the excellent Sword and Sorcery series or something like that. That just had excellent music. It was like some 8-bit vibes, relatively simple, like point and click adventure game, but it just had great music that carried it all the way. And it looks and sounds like they're going for a similar kind of thing here, where it's simple gameplay, kind of some low key graphics that still look interesting, and some good music. So it looks to me like a mixture of like the comfortable and enjoyable traversal of something like Pathless, where you're trying to get that fluid motion, and then the exploration of something like No Man's Sky. So it could be very good. It also runs the risk of maybe just being very boring. But I can get behind a boring game if it's got like some good music to it or something like that. So yeah, this is a game that, although they didn't announce it, I'm glad it was part of the state of play to remind me that this is a game that's coming out for the PS5. The one downside is they're showing a lot of people. I thought this was just going to be me and my ship kind of hanging out, figuring out what's going on this planet. I really don't want to walk around as a person. That seems like it's going to break the flow of the game. And there might be some story stuff that might be interesting, but that brought me down a little notch. Adam, how about you set the line on it for us? Or did I do it?
Yeah, you do it.
I do it? Okay. I'm going to set the line on this one at 50,000.
I'm going to take the over.
Take the over. 50,000 for Jet the Far Shore.
Please let it be over.
Yeah. Please. End it now. Please.
I can't eat many more of these
Jet
beans.
the Far Shore. 71,000. All right.
Yes.
What's up with these later games getting more views? I don't know. But okay.
Oh, gosh.
Give me a bean, boy.
Give me a bean. Oh. Bean. Oh, it's Peach or Barf.
All right, I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
As his life gets ruined, I want to talk about, now I'm going to destroy this, Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles? I don't know.
Is it
however
Peach?
You say that.
Is it Peach or is it Barf?
How do you not know?
Ugh!
Yep, that's a barf. So
How
this
does that
game,
happen? Oh,
this game has very interesting graphics, and I don't have a huge idea on how the gameplay works because there wasn't a ton of gameplay. It almost looked like a beat 'em up, possibly, but I'm very unsure about that because we just didn't get a chance to look at it. It somewhat looks like anime, but it's really pretty. Like the backgrounds, from what I remember, look kind of like average, but the actual characters look anime-ish, but with a very high resolution, somewhat realistic graphic. It looks very good. It's very interesting. The gameplay, the graphics, it is coming out October 15th of 2021. So we only have to wait a few months, or I guess maybe, that's 4 or 5 months to see what that looks like. But something that's kind of interesting. I don't know. If it really is a beat 'em up, I'm not a big fan of that. What do you think, Alex? If you can even talk after that barf.
That was a very bad barf because it was like laced with peach to just really trap you there.
Oh,
Adam, I have crucial information about this game that I don't want to share because it's going to affect your decision on the line. So I'd like you to set the line first, and then I'll talk about it.
what? That's bullcrap.
Come on.
That's not fair.
Okay, fine. No, this game is a video game based on maybe the most popular anime in Japan right now. I think it was maybe the highest grossing film in Japan. It had some accolade for like the incredible amount of people watching it or the scores that critics gave it or something like that. It's a very famous anime that people love, Demon Slayer. So that there's that going for you. You hit the nail on the head. Yeah, it looks anime. Yeah, because it's based off an anime. Now that being said, anime games don't really have a great track record because they just expect that people are going to buy it regardless of how good it is. So I'm not really excited about this game. I think, oddly enough, I think the only anime game I've ever played without being interested in the anime was Victorious Boxers, which is based on Hajime no Ippo, which I didn't know it was based on an anime before I bought it. So yeah, I bet it's going to be one of those things where it's like, unless you're a fan, there's probably not much reason to play it. Adam, what's your favorite anime?
Name some I would have watched.
Did you watch Dragon Ball Z?
Not really.
What about Gundam Wing?
No.
What about Pokemon?
Yes. That's anime?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I guess I'm a Pokemon.
Sailor Moon.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've watched it maybe as a kid on Cartoon Network.
Okay. What's another one?
Dexter's Laboratory.
That's not an anime.
Why? It's the same art style as Sailor Moon.
It is not. It's very different.
Pokemon, it's like F you.
It's very different.
I set the line at 139,000.
Would you have done that if I didn't tell you about the anime thing?
Absolutely not. It would have been higher, but it wouldn't have been that high.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Damn, I should have held fast to my strategy there. All right, typing it in right here. Let's give that a paste.
What are you doing over or under?
Oh, I didn't look. Oh, I'm going to take the... Man, that's a good line you said. I don't know if people are that interested in the game, though. I'm going to say under. And we are looking at... What'd you say?
139,000.
128, baby!
Bob
Woo!
Saget.
Yes.
Shoot.
Yes.
Freaking Japanese people. Watch more American
Yeah, we're not looking at
YouTube.
youtube.co.jp, Adam, so you're... Yeah.
Garbage.
Oh, yeah. Toasted marshmallow or stink bug.
Oh, dude, don't make me.
Yeah, well, you have to. This is a bad one. Stink bug is one of the ones that came out of the gate out of nowhere in this 5th generation bean set. And it is.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, dang it. I thought I didn't have it.
We should have the rule that if you don't have a bean, you got to eat 2 of the next one we spin.
That's
your fault for not having enough supply.
Friggin' dirty.
Yeah, it's dirty.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be horrible, Alex.
It was so... Yeah, you made me finish a podcast with that, Adam. It's the worst. It's so bad. And it's gonna fill your mouth with a stink bug ass taste.
Oh, my. Yeah. It is immediate. I haven't even bit into it yet, and it's just tearing me up. Oh, my. It is horrendous.
Give it a chew while I move on to the next game, Adam. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, Alex.
That's a nasty hoss. Yeah. Give it a chew, boy. Come on.
Dude, is this worse than barf?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. It doesn't give you that body hate feeling.
Yeah. Oh, my. Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Go on. Oh.
Moving on. The next game, it's a long-awaited sequel. This next game is Lost Judgment.
Oh.
Now, for those who don't know, Judgment is a spin-off of the Yakuza series that everybody loves. Sega's probably their most successful series in a long time. And those are kind of like pseudo RPG-ish action beat-em-up games with a lot of fun mini games and stuff like this. This is like a sequel where you're not in the Yakuza, but you're a detective. And Judgment was a sequel or a spin-off where you're not in the Yakuza, but you're a detective investigating crimes in Japan, I guess. I haven't played it, but people loved it. This is the sequel to that, Lost Judgment, and people are super hyped about it. It says here equal parts Grizzly and Goofy, which sounds about right. It's got the fun beat-em-up stuff going on. I've always wanted to get into the Yakuza games and, by virtue these games as well, just because people love them so much and the stories are apparently so good and the characters are so well written. I don't know why I would suddenly play this one if I haven't played the first one. That's the thing with these long-running series. Like, when do I jump in? I don't know. It's probably going to be an excellently fun game, solid 8 out of 10, but I just don't see how it's going to fit into my life. Adam, have you ever played the Yakuza games? Do you know anything about them?
I'm barely hanging on, dude. I have not. But here's the thing with this. Oh my. Oh, it's so bad. And I keep burping, and
Mm-hmm.
it just brings it up.
Power through, man. We got a podcast.
So, Lost Judgment comes out on September 24th. This is a game. I don't know if you have to play the previous ones to play this one, but I am going to play this one. Let me tell you why. This game, when I looked at it, when I was watching, I was like, what the F is happening? It looks insane. First, I was pretty pumped because it looks like a tragedy and like a detective where you are the detective and you're going to find mystery, almost like that PSVR game that you love that I hated. But this one actually looks like a good one in which you're looking for clues. There's maybe a trial or something, and it's more active. And then, boom, all of a sudden, okay, there's trains, and becomes into a rhythm game, and then a racing game. Now this dude is skateboarding. Now he's murdering people. It looks like if someone with ADHD, or not even ADHD, oh, why am I blanking? What's the one where, oh, I hate this, where you're like talking and immediately you start cursing and screaming and you like can't.
Tourette's.
Yes, it looks like someone with Tourette's made the game, which is awesome. I'm gonna play this. Of the whole state of play, this is the one game I looked at and I was like, what the F is happening? I like the idea that there's going to be a tons of different gameplay elements. I like the idea that ideally, and I'm assuming this, that there's like a murder and there may be a twist at the end, or there's some mystery built into the plot, and then it's an action game. A dude has cool hair. I'm assuming maybe it could be the DualSense could be utilized with all these different types of gameplay elements. I'm liking what I'm seeing. This is the first game in the entire state of play that I was like, I'll play that.
I'll play it. I'll touch it. Somebody sends me a code, I'll play it for sure.
Well, I may even buy this puppy. I gotta buy something one day, and I'm gonna wait. Do you
I'm setting the
line
on this one. I'm gonna set the line at, let's do, if Demon Slayer can get 120, I'm gonna set this, has to be able to do better than that. I'm gonna set the line at 130 on this. 130,000.
Why do you think this would do better?
Because it's a popular series that people are excited about, and I think it's the first time they've shown it.
Okay, then I'm gonna go over.
Talked you into it, you idiot. Let's see. Hold on.
Dude, I can't do another one.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it. This is the best looking game of the whole thing.
I got boned. 82,000. What the heck, man? 82,000? That's the best we can get? Oh, man. All right, spin me a bean, man.
Wait.
I said 130. You took the over. It's 82. I'm boned. Wait, no.
Yeah, I'm boned.
You're boned.
It's like, what are you talking about? I was so confused. Yes! Why did I stop you? F me.
Yes.
Dang it.
Let's spin this bean. Oh, Adam, I hope you didn't eat dinner tonight because you're getting your dinner right now in the form of beans. Okay, toothpaste or blueberry?
Thank gosh. Either one's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Death Stranding, it's toothpaste. Death Stranding Director's Cut. So this is remastered for the PS5. Now, I haven't played this game. It looks a little slow to me, but I know... I forgot if you had played this or you were really interested in playing it. But the fact that it's remastered for PS5 makes me intrigued. There are new enemies. There's upgraded melee. There's master guns, mounted machine guns. Now a firing range available. New missions, much more that comes out on September 24th. There was a whole thing about people being upset. They've got to pay a little more for what's a remastered PS5 game. Get over yourself, people. Pay a little bit to play a brand new cutting edge game on a brand new cutting edge console. I'm intrigued. I'm just really afraid that this game, although the plot may be great, may be a little slow for me. Kojima obviously is a beast. He's brilliant. I'm just unless you think I would like it, Alex, I know you have more background in this game than I know and do. I may stay away from it simply for that reason.
This game, a lot of people talk about how boring it is, but a lot of people talk about how interesting it is. Like, it's boring because the gameplay is not traditional gameplay fare of like shooting and beat 'em up. Although there is shooting and beat 'em up stuff going on there, but part of the game is just traversal. Like you have this large landscape that you have to walk across and not drop packages. But Kojima does these things on purpose to make the game interesting, like plot wise. Like he's trying to make it's almost like he's trying to make a really good, really interesting movie that you have to play. I've wanted to play this ever since it came out. I'm glad I waited because now I have a definitive version to play it as. When it first got announced, I thought it was funny that there's a director's cut when he's been the director and nobody was holding him back. Now I can understand that the director's cut means that essentially it's all the stuff he had to take out because it couldn't run on the PS4, and now it can run on a PS5, and so the beast, Kojima the Beast, has been unleashed. I was worried. I bought it on sale at GameStop in a buy two get one free sale on the PS4 for cheap, and I never touched it because I was hoping we'd get some kind of an upgrade for it for the PS5. And then when they announced this, I was like, crap, I'm going to have to buy the full version to play it. No, if you have a disc and if you have the game on PS4 and you have a PS5 with a disc, you could put the disc in, the PS4 disc in, and play the PS5 upgrade. But it's a $10 upgrade. I'm happy to pay that price to get the director's cut, to get a little cut of Kojima's taste. People said the combat wasn't a huge component of the game, but they added a bunch of weapons and stuff. The weird thing with Kojima is he makes the best combat systems in games that don't require combat. I don't know what that's about, but I'm hyped for this game. I'm pumped. I really want to play it. Maybe one day I'll finish Returnal, and this will be ready right by the time I finish Returnal. So I guess I got to rush and finish that. But this is like the next big PS5 game that I'm excited about. And so for that, I guess you got to set the line. You set the line.
Yeah, and I've also not played. One reason I didn't. I mean, it says it's 40 to 60 hours. I guess that's not too bad. I mean, some of the Kingdom Hearts games are that long. I thought it was longer than that. This is a popular game. I'm going to say 165,000.
Oh, that's a good line, but I just learned from Lost Judgment that even though it's a popular game, you're not going to necessarily get the full trailer. But people are excited about this. That's a good line, Adam, but I'm going to take under. I think it's not going to do Demon Slayer's numbers even. I'm going to take the under on that. You picked 160. Let's see what we're sitting at. Adam, do you know if you've played any Kojima games?
I don't know.
You played Zone of the Enders 2, right? Remember that?
Yep.
Did you like that?
Good game. Granted, I played in VR, so I kind of cheated in the fact that of course it's awesome in VR.
But you like the story and stuff in it though, because that's Kojima, man. That's Kojima's crazy stuff going on.
It was kind of hard to stay on track, and understand what was happening.
That's
but
Kojima.
I think I liked it.
Yeah, Adam, you're a very smart man. You're a very accurate man. You set the line at 160, and I picked the under. My assumption was foolish, but my assumption was right because the number of views is 157,000.
Sag.
That's the closest anybody's been, but you're still wrong, and you're still going to eat a bean, Adam. Adam, I'm hungry over here. Can you start getting better at this?
I hate this.
That was a good spin. We got coconut or spoiled milk. Man, you are really running the gauntlet of terrible beans
The
here.
thing is, I hate coconut. I hate coconut.
But you like coconut water, don't you?
No.
No. Tell me what you got, man. Tell me what
You know
got.
what I got.
Spoiled milk. That's as bad as rotten egg.
Deathloop is, we've known about Deathloop for a while. It's one of the games that's always been hyped for the PS5. I don't understand the hype. I'm not going to go much into the gameplay and the understanding. You know that you have 5 or 6 enemies you got to kill. You got to do it in a loop. And if you die, you do the whole loop again. Guess what? The graphics don't look great. The PS5 integration, I think, is going to be minimal. And it has that god-awful, absolute horrendous gameplay effect like Returnal does. Oh, gosh, this is bad. I don't think you could pay me to play this game. Screw you, Bethesda. I'm glad you're leaving. you suck. I guess maybe I will miss Doom. I'm not interested in this at all. I know you were, Alex. They showed 9 minutes of gameplay. Some of that gameplay didn't even look good. It looked very slow and boring. And I don't understand. I actually think that gameplay was worse for the hype than it was to increase the hype. So I'm not a fan. Oh gosh, that's bad. I'm gonna eat my bean now.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Adam, because the game looks beautiful. The gameplay looks super exciting.
What are you talking about? You just sat there and waited for crap to happen so that it looked like
dude's like jumping around and teleporting and shooting fools and like
it
freezing
didn't
people
even
and
it didn't look
stabbing
fun.
them.
Now, if you're playing in VR, maybe, but what's that game? Hitman. It looks like a little faster version of Hitman. I would rather play Hitman than this.
This looks super exciting with like a giant, complicated city environment. You got to go through and track down targets and take them out. It looks so good.
Great, I'll let you play
it. I'll play it for sure. This game is put out. This is the next game from Arcane Studios, who did Dishonored 1 and 2, those games that people love. And the gameplay is so nice and fresh. It's got all the magic and stealth and fun abilities. I didn't play those games, but I watched footage of them, and they looked really fun. I started to play one of them, but I got busy and stopped playing it. I'm happy to see that they're making a game for the PS5. I'm sad that we might see lackluster support if this game ever makes its way to Xbox. This is a Microsoft Game Studios company now, and their big game is coming out on PS5. That's kind of weird. It's like the first time like an Xbox company has made a game for a PlayStation exclusive presentation. But that being said, I wasn't super hyped on it, but watching this footage right now, I'm getting very hyped. Getting very hyped for this game. This is looking great, and it comes out September 14th. Oh man, when am I gonna have time to beat Death Stranding when I'm playing Death Loop? It's just going to be a death fest is what it's going to be. Adam, this looks awesome. It's been a long time. Like, we've known about this for a long time, so I feel like the hype has died down. It's my time to set the line. I'm going to set the line at 120,000.
I'm going to say, dang, that's good. I'm going to say higher, up, over, whatever the word is.
It should have a lot. That was a good-ass video. I'll tell you what. I want to play that game now. Oh, Adam. I'm sorry, man. It's 108,000.
Gosh, darn it.
What are you doing,
happening?
Man? Freaking hungry, aren't you?
I hate this.
That was the last
at least
one.
This is the last one. Okay. Please.
Clean your mouth out with toothpaste or berry blue.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
You got off the hook, Adam. You got off the hook, but I think it's just because Deathloop was being generous to you.
It's not a toothpaste.
All right. You need to brush your teeth after all them beans you ate, stink bug mouth.
So now, quickly, there's some news I want to cover, Alex, and quick questions for you. First of all, we didn't have a podcast last week, but since our last podcast, Sony has officially acquired Housemarque and Nix's studio. So Housemarque, obviously most notable now, probably for Returnal, in which you love. And again, although I didn't like Returnal, I can marvel at how they utilize the graphics, the speed, the DualSense. That I'm pretty pumped with. Nix's studio is like a technical developer in Finland, and they're mainly known for creating PC ports of games. They did, I think, thanks for letting me hear you typing.
Sorry.
They did like Tomb Raider and Marvel, some of the Marvel games. So this, I think some fans were a little less interested in because they were like, great, now our PlayStation games are going to just be ported to PC. That's what they're assuming by this acquisition. What are your thoughts on those two acquisitions? Do you think they're a big deal, and are you excited for them?
The Housemarque acquisition is a huge deal. Returnal is like one of the first games I've played. Okay, Demon's Souls remake, yeah. Returnal's the next game that makes me feel really validated for having a PS5. It's just, this could not be done on another console, and it's just next level engagement and fun. And so I'm happy that the company that brought that to me is now in-house with PlayStation. They're going to be focusing on the next PlayStation game. They're going to get the support from PlayStation, which is a big deal right there. This company with support makes masterpieces. I'm so excited about what Housemarque does next. So yeah, I'm pumped about that. Nix's studio, I don't know a damn thing about them. I just Googled them. That's what I was typing about. They've done ports of the Tomb Raider games and Deus Ex Mankind and Marvel's Avengers. It looks like a lot of Electronic Arts games that have been pretty good. I don't know how their ports work out, but yeah, like you said, it's kind of interesting that they bought a porting studio to make games. So here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping this means that they're going to be porting stuff, porting games, like older games, maybe getting some good remakes or something like that, and like a good PlayStation 4 game, do a PS5 remaster or a remake in that capacity, getting some of the technology over there. Or they might, like you said, just be focusing on PC ports, which in the end kind of enhances what we get on the PS5 as well. But it doesn't mean much for me because I'm not going to be playing PS5 games on my PC. I'm going to be playing them on the PS5. But they seem like they're probably technically gifted if that's their specialty. It's just not as exciting as Housemarque Studios. But hey, you know what, Sony? I trust you. You did a great choice in buying Housemarque. I'm going to trust that this is a good choice too.
So another thing that was also interesting is that before this news even came out, or maybe it was right after the Housemarque, PlayStation of Japan, their Twitter account leaked, or I guess released, a thumbnail just like Housemarque, just like Nix's, where it says PlayStation Studios and it has the new studio that they just acquired, and then some of the games in the background that you typically see in the Sony introductions for the big games. And what they leaked was Bluepoint games, which we know for Shadow the Colossus and a lot of just the other remakes that they make that are all fantastic games. But so that photo was leaked, or not leaked. They actually legitimately tweeted it, PlayStation of Japan. Then they took it down. Of course, people had already screenshotted it at that point. And then the whole week went by. And then now this week went by, and now State of Play went by, and there's no mention that Bluepoint was acquired. If you look at Bluepoint's Twitter account, or people have talked to them, and they strictly say that they are independent. What's happening here? Do you think, like, it blows my mind that they would even make a thumbnail that says Bluepoint Games if that deal hadn't already been done, let alone actually tweet it out accidentally too? Do you think this is on the precipice of happening, or do you think there was just some real weird coincidences and someone effed up their job?
I mean, if it landed on any other account than Sony's, then I'd say yeah, it's wishful thinking. But there's no way you accidentally make a beautiful mock-up logo of a studio acquisition like that, and then get it tweeted out on the official Twitter account accidentally. This means they probably have these logos pre-made sitting in a folder somewhere, and some intern just clicked the wrong one for the upload. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a whole lot of smoke in this situation. Um, I do wonder, like, kind of a little bit with Housemarque, but big time with Bluepoint. Like, has Bluepoint made any games that aren't PlayStation exclusive? So what? Why are they worrying about acquiring the studio when the studio is already making PlayStation exclusive games, anyways? That's kind of odd. But then I wonder if they are doing this because they want to see PlayStation 5 remakes of Sony properties, not some third party property, but proper Sony properties. Talking like Uncharted or something like that. Maybe they're going to bring back the whole Ratchet and Clank collection, or any older games that we would really like to see fleshed out.
Kingdom Hearts.
That's not a Sony property, and I'd hate it. I would burn Bluepoint to the ground if they wasted their talents on that. That's a waste of space.
It would be wonderful. Freaking The Last of Us is going to have like 8 remakes before they make a freaking single Kingdom Hearts 1 remake. Yeah. Bull crap. Yeah. Okay, so do you think, which one are you more excited for? Assuming both these are legit, we'll say all 3 of them. I know you don't care about Nix's, but of the 3, assuming they're all now part of PlayStation Studios, which one are you most hyped for?
Housemarque. I mean, they've done the most for me. Housemarque. It's hard to say. You know, I said Housemarque because they make original games that I love to play. Bluepoint makes remakes of games that I've already played, but I'm happy to have already played it. What Bluepoint did with Demon Souls was just utterly incredible. That's just such a beautiful, beautiful game that they did. But I mean, looking back at that, they did the Uncharted collection. They did Gravity Rush, which is awesome. What is this? Titanfall? They did Titanfall? What did they put Titanfall on? I don't even know. That game's awesome. I guess these are games they just worked on, but a lot of Sony properties, a lot of fun stuff. Housemarque is going to give me more original bang for my buck, so I'm going to go with Housemarque there. But Bluepoint, they're obviously their next project is going to be something incredible. So maybe they put out something original, which would be really fascinating if they got like some creative designer back there that just hasn't really shown their talents yet. But Housemarque is my number one.
All right, next, just some quick news. Ratchet and Clank, there's a new update out that has additional photo mode settings. When they released the game, they pretty much took away the 120 hertz performance mode, but that has now been re-enabled. So that's kind of cool. I know you don't have the game, Alex. You don't really want to play it. Who really cares? I played it with, I guess, the resolution mode, if that's what you want to call it, rather than the performance mode. It still ran so well. I don't really think the 120 hertz is going to make a big enough difference. Of course, maybe the lack of resolution wouldn't matter as much either. Not sure. Game looked beautiful either way, but here's another test that you could go and play. There is new PlayStation Plus free games for the month.
I got a question about Ratchet and Clank, Adam.
Yeah.
The 120 hertz. So if you've ever played an old game in like 30 hertz and then you play a game in 60 hertz, it really makes the animation and the fluidity, it really makes the game pop, almost like it's a 3D game popping out of your screen. That's the effect that I feel when I play a game in really fast frame rate. Adam, you got a 120 hertz TV when the PS5 came out. You dropped fat cash on it. Have you done anything to leverage that and see, have you played any games at 120 hertz yet? And I just want to know how that's been.
I feel like I did, but which one was it early on? But the thing is, like Ratchet and Clank, it looked good, so good already. It looked like a Pixar movie. Like I was watching a Pixar movie.
But that's like the graphics. I want to know, like, I think that's a game that would benefit from 120 hertz because then all the stuff happening would feel like it's popping out of the screen as it happens. That makes me more interested in Ratchet and Clank is playing it at 120 hertz with like supreme fluidity. I don't care about the 4K. I want the 120 hertz.
I don't know. I don't know if a freaking PS5 game comes out that I actually want to play. I'll have to slap it on. But I mean, I've already sold it. I'm not going to go back and buy it just to play in 120 hertz. But I don't know. Something that I will definitely keep in mind for the next coming games I play. So the PlayStation Plus games are Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, WWE 2K Battlegrounds, and A Plague Tale: Innocence. Are any of these games even somewhat interesting to you, Alex?
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is Call of Duty. It's probably fun, but I'm never going to get around to playing it, even though I bet it's going to be a blast for like the 4 hours that you get through the campaign on, if it even has a campaign. WWE 2K Battlegrounds, I'm not going to play it, but maybe it might be fun to play with you just because it's going to be so goofy. It's like a big head mode wrestling game. But the game I'm really excited about is A Plague Tale: Innocence. It was kind of a game that came out of nowhere and people loved it. They liked the story, they liked the setting. And now this version is the PS5 version. So there's a PS5 upgrade for it. And this is the PS5 version of that game. So I'm excited about playing it on the PS5 finally, and hopefully getting some of the PS5 enhancements that we all want. Hopefully some adaptive stuff is going on. That one's one to get excited about, and I think you should play it too. We might have some good discussions because you're getting more educated in your game taste, Adam, and I'm proud of you.
Trust me, my game taste is good. I will say, I've been seeing on Twitter that some people think this is boring. That game, but
it's not action. It's like a stealth game where you're like trying to escape a city that's being overrun by rats.
Sounds stupid.
But imagine this. Imagine you're walking through the alley and you're trying to get away from people who are trying to kill you, and you're trying to find a safe space, and then you feel that DualSense controller like gently vibrating, and you know what that vibration is. That's a million freaking rats scurrying towards you, and it starts building up the tension. You don't know where they're coming from, and then the controller starts shaking harder and harder and harder, and then it's shaking so hard you drop the controller and get eaten by rats and you die, and you start back from the beginning like in Returnal. Would that be exciting for you?
Okay, first of all, no, but what would be exciting for me is walking down an alley, and with the 3D audio and with the controller, I hear something off to the distance to my right, and I look, and I'm gathering and I'm assessing and perusing the wall and the doors, and boom, right in the middle of some trash is some type of key. Now okay, how do I use it? Oh, I have to jump on a train, and this takes me all the way to the middle of England, where then boom, there is one of those stupid, what do they call them, flash mobs, and now I'm in a rhythm game, and my DualSense is vibrating, and there's different sounds coming out of the controller, and there's adaptive triggers, and I'm grooving and moving, and then boom, I'm inside a race car now, and I'm jumping over bridges, and I feel the speed, just like you did in Returnal, of the acceleration in your hand. And that's what's going to be like for Lost Judgment. That's a game I can't wait for. But I hope it doesn't suck. I'm going to feel like an idiot. From one Japanese man to another, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is coming out August 20th, coming out real soon. PS4 and PS5. It contains the Iki Island story expansion, if that's even how you say that island. So if you pre-order the director's cut, you do get the PS4 version right now to play. Alex, I know you've had this game. I know you like this game. Is there any way you were going to have enough time or interest to go and play some of this director's cut if you want to pay the extra $10 or whatever it may be?
So this is weird. It's a bit controversial too. Yeah, if you want to play, say you have it on PS4 already and you want to get the director's cut and play on PS5, that's going to be $30. But I think if you have the director's cut on the director's cut, not the original game, but the director's cut on PS4, then it's going to be $10 to upgrade it to the PS5 version. Something weird like that. After trying to read it 4 or 5 times, everybody seemed to understand what was going on, but I didn't. I came to the conclusion I'm going to have to pay $30 to get an upgraded version, a PS5 version of this game. That said, I'm excited about it. The big thing is they fixed the lip sync. This is a weird thing about the game. It's a Japanese, like the game's all about being in Japan and stuff, but they did all of the audio recording and the lip syncing of the facial animation in English. But you can play Japanese audio, but the facial animation is still in English, so it doesn't match. And it's really off-putting. They fixed that now, and so when you play the game in Japanese, the mouths move like they're speaking Japanese, which is good. Because I would play in a Japanese game, I'd love to hear them speak in Japanese with the voice acting, really good voice acting and stuff like that. This game is fun and beautiful. It's one of the best showcases of PS5, even though it's a PS4 game. Now there's a director's cut and story expansion. I'm all for it. I'm all about it. I'm probably going to buy it. Am I going to have time to play it? Of course not. But I like to support this kind of stuff. I do want to play it at some point. So I don't know. I'm going to quit my job and play this game.
All right. So we have talked about so much that we want to wrap it up. We want to thank you for listening to this episode of Play PS5, the podcast. So I have a question for you. Over under 3 times I grab a fistful. Give us your guess. Please don't make me eat another bean. My stomach's upset and I am upset, and I hate these beans. Hopefully we don't eat them for a while. Listen, we are on YouTube. Play PS5 is our YouTube channel. I've been doing these weekly newscasts, essentially just the latest PS5 news every week. Of course, we upload our podcast. Hopefully one day we get to some more content. If you have ideas for us, let us know. If you'd like to join the podcast, we need a guest on this puppy. We would love to have you. Thanks again for listening. And always remember, Play PS5 podcast. Don't play with yourself. Play PS5.